flying this holiday season, you might encounter a service dog or two during your travels. Service animals are cute, but keep in mind this is not an invitation to touch or pet them. Joining me this morning is Alex Price, a local dog training expert and owner of Houston's Dog Training Elite. Good morning, sir. Welcome in, and welcome in Delta as well. Talk to us about what a service dog is.
So a service dog is an animal who is trained specifically to help you with your medical needs. And you might be noticing she's trying to alert me a little bit that, hey, you're on live TV, your heart rate's through the roof. So bear in mind, she is trying to work too. So it's very important to know that these dogs are trained specifically to help with their handler for something very specific with a disability.
Okay.
Not just because we love our pets.
Yeah. With that said, talk to us about the difference between service animals, service dogs, and emotional support animals.
Yeah, so there's a big difference. Emotional support animal is just your animal who its presence alone gives you some comfort and relief. Now, a service dog is trained to perform something very specific to help you with your needs. That could be alerting to a blood sugar, heart rate, seizures. I know.
What is she doing right now?
So she's doing some deep pressure therapy, which is laying across your body to give some compression, which can actually lower your heart rate.
This is really awesome. Is your body in response telling her, hey, things are okay, you can
Yeah, so she's sensing the changes in your body and then doing a trained response to it. So it's usually a little bit of an alert and then trying to actually perform the act.
It's really incredible to actually watch her work, to see her in action. Talk to us about the responsibility that comes with service animals, traveling with them specifically.
So traveling with a service animal it's a big deal. It's another thing that we have to think about. Did we pack everything? How is our animal going to respond to the chaos around us? Because not everyone knows how to respond when they see a service animal. Young kids, elderly, they don't really understand fully what it means, and that we can't really distract them. We don't want them to not be able to perform their job when we need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for those who are impersonating service animals, that can really put these guys in danger, in jeopardy.
They can. Some fake service animals have attacked people, they have attacked the dogs, and that could ruin the work life of these animals because they could then become fearful of different animals if they've had a attack.
What are the consequences for people who do that?
It's not very big. Texas just passed an increase in the fine and the community service, but that's essentially it right now. I wish there was more that could be done.
What type of dog can be a service dog?
Any breed, if they can perform what that handler needs. Now, that's something that we do when a potential client contacts us. Hey, I have this, I need some help. Well, we want to evaluate a dog if they already have it. Can that dog do what that handler needs? And sometimes that's not the case, and we'll go out there and help them find a dog who can help them with exactly what they need. Other times, we can train the dog they currently have to help them.
Yeah. What's that process like, that training period? Is it long? Is it intense?
It depends on the services that it need. If it's a scent-based needs, diabetic alert, seizure response, it can be 1 to 2 years. If it's more for psychiatric needs, PTSD, it can be a few months.
I'm watching Delta tap you right now. Is this also part of?
That's part of the alert to get my attention. If I didn't already notice that my heart rate was up, that she's trying to say, hey, silly, relax,
calm down, relax a little bit. This is not your first rodeo. At least it's not my first rodeo. She's saying. Well, this is all really great information. Any last suggestions you want folks to keep in mind as people head out for the holiday season?
If you see a service animal or an animal, give them some extra space. If you are in need of a service animal, don't fake your pet. Go research it. Ask people. If you can't afford it, there's a lot of resources out there. So if you need help, get help. Just don't fake it.
Yeah. One thing I've always been curious about, you see these designated areas in larger airports such as Bush. Do all airports have places for dogs to go to the restroom?
Not all of them. I was actually in one not too long ago, and it was in Harlingen. We got the airports in Houston were shut down, and we had to circle back, and there was no pet relief center. And luckily she held it,
Oh,
and
that's heartbreaking.
we worked through it.
Yeah, we were on an assignment overseas at the beginning of this year, heading to Poland to do a follow-up on the Ukraine-Russia conflict, and I remember there were several working dogs. I do not believe they were service dogs, but they were government dogs, and I felt awful. You know, those plane rides are 8, 9, 10 hours long, and then you're in the airport for hours even before that, and so it was something that I was curious about.
So you do a lot of prep work.
Yeah.
You make sure that we hold a little bit of resources, food and water, knowing our dog's body, how long we can kind of push it safely.
Yeah. For people interested in putting their dog through a service training, or if they're just curious about it, how much does that cost? Is there a price tag affiliated with this?
So it depends again on which service they need, but through our company it can be anywhere between about $4,000 and $10,000. I've seen some prices online up to $50,000,
Wow.
but there are a lot of options out there to help with that financial burden.
And how long will a dog like Delta be able to perform her duties?
She'll be able to work up till about probably 9, 10, depending
that's
on if we
amazing.
don't have any other health issues
Right.
pop up.
And then retirement.
Absolutely.
Girlfriend, you can relax. Well, we so much appreciate you, Alex, coming in. And Delta, you too. I know you're hard at work, and so you know, the work that she does and the work that you do to train these dogs really it's truly incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.